Donovan Mitchell is at the point of superstardom where he can take you there, or he's still all-star status?
I have never been around a young player like Donovan Mitchell. I have never seen someone so young take ownership of a team, take ownership of his play, do it with charisma. I've never seen it in 16 years.
There are certain players who don't follow the script. They're not crowned in high school, they're not hyped by the media, they don't get chosen until they make themselves undeniable. Donovan Mitchell was one of those players. He wasn't supposed to be a franchise star, but in Utah, he became everything they needed, and more. He led a team nobody believed in to 5 straight playoff runs. He made all-star teams, dropped 50-point games, set scoring records, took the spotlight. And yet, no matter what he did, it never seemed to be enough. They said he was too small, too inefficient, not built to win when it mattered most. And when the Jazz collapsed in the postseason again and again, they didn't just break up the team. They sent Donovan packing. No farewell tour, just a press release and a plane ticket to Cleveland. And that should have been the end of the story. But now, something strange is happening. Because in Cleveland, Donovan is different. He's not just scoring, he's leading, he's defending, he's winning. And for the first time since LeBron left, the Cavaliers look like real contenders. This isn't a comeback. This isn't a revenge tour. This is a player rewriting his entire legacy in real time, right in front of us. But before the points, before the headlines, before the pressure ever reached him, Donovan was just a 6'1" kid from New York. And what happened next was something no one saw coming. Let's go back to where it started. Donovan wasn't built for stardom, at least not on paper. He was 6'1", played mostly off-ball at Louisville, and heading into the 2017 NBA draft, he wasn't projected to go top 10. Most scouts saw him as a developmental combo guard, a raw athlete with potential, not polish. No one expected him to take over a franchise. But there was something they didn't measure. Donovan had that quiet obsession, the kind that turns gym rats into killers. At the draft combine, he stunned teams with his interviews, his intensity, and his motor. The Denver Nuggets took him at 13 and immediately traded him to Utah. And in Summer League, he didn't just look good, he looked ready. By the time the 2017-18 season tipped off, Utah had lost Gordon Hayward. They were supposed to fall apart. Instead, they got Donovan. And by December, he wasn't just in the rotation, he was the guy. 30-point nights, clutch finishes, rookie scoring records. He didn't just prove people wrong, he embarrassed them. Donovan finished the season averaging 20.5 points per game, led Utah to 48 wins, and took them to the second round of the playoffs. And he did it like it was inevitable. They called him a sleeper, but he never planned on staying asleep. He didn't just win over a franchise, he saved it. After losing back-to-back All-Stars, first Deron Williams, then Gordon Hayward, Utah was starving for an identity. And then came Donovan. All grit, no ego, explosive in the open floor, ruthless in the half-court. He brought edge to a system franchise. And the fans, they ate it up. They had a reason to believe again. In the 2018 playoffs, he went toe-to-toe with Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. Dropped 38 in a closeout Game 6, ended OKC's season and announced his arrival. And the next year, even better. Utah became a fixture in the West. He was averaging 24 points per game by age 22. But behind the numbers, something deeper was building. He was doing everything right. Winning, producing, showing up in big games. But the more he gave, the more the pressure grew. And soon it wasn't about what he could do, it was about what he couldn't do. August 17th, 2020, Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. No fans, no distractions, just basketball in its purest, most isolated form. Donovan dropped 57 points. It was the third highest scoring game in playoff history, behind only Michael Jordan and Elgin Baylor. He hit everything. Floaters, threes, fallaways, he couldn't miss. And yet, Utah lost. Because on the other side, Jamal Murray had 36, a historic duel, Mitchell versus Murray, that saw both players drop back-to-back 50-point games, 6 games in a row scoring 30-plus, 254 total points from Donovan across the series. But it still ended in heartbreak. Game 7, final seconds, Donovan drives, loses the ball. Denver runs the other way. Jazz lose. That was the moment everything changed. He had done it all, put up legendary numbers, carried a flawed roster, but it still wasn't enough. And suddenly, the narrative shifted. It wasn't about how great Donovan was, it was why greatness wasn't translating to wins, and the whispers started getting louder. In 2021, everything was finally lining up. Donovan was a rising superstar. The Jazz had built around him. Shooters everywhere, a defensive player of the year behind him, and a system tailored to his strengths. They won 52 games, the best record in the entire NBA. Donovan averaged 26.4 points, 5 assists, 39% from 3. He was efficient, explosive, and battle-tested. This wasn't a fluke run. It looked like a breakthrough. Round 1, they handled Memphis in 5 games. Then came the Clippers. Game 1, he dropped 45. Game 2, he added 37. Utah went up 2-0. And then Kawhi got hurt. The door to the conference finals was wide open. But somehow, Utah walked straight into it. Terrence Mann, a second-year role player, scored 39 in Game 6. Reggie Jackson turned into a closer. The Jazz defense collapsed. And Donovan, playing on an injured ankle, tried to hold it all together. He scored 39 of his own, but it wasn't enough. The Jazz lost 4 straight games, eliminated in 6. Again. They didn't just blow a series, they blew their window. It was the most talented team Donovan ever had in Utah. It was the best chance he ever got. This time though, something felt different. This was a contender that choked. And suddenly, it didn't feel like he was Utah's future anymore. It felt like he was their excuse. There was a time when Donovan could do no wrong in Utah, but eventually that time ran out. The deeper the playoff wounds cut, the more fingers started to point, and most of them pointed at him. He was still putting up numbers, 26, 27, even 30 a night. Still making all-star teams, still showing up in big moments. But the team, the chemistry, gone. The tension with Rudy Gobert wasn't subtle anymore. It was visible on the court. Broken pick and rolls, icy timeouts, no communication, 2 all-stars, both elite in their own ways, but never aligned. Everyone could feel the distance growing. The Jazz kept trying to patch it up. More shooters, a new bench, tweaks here and there, but it was all duct tape. The foundation was cracked. By the end of the 2022 season, they weren't chasing a title anymore. They were just waiting for it to end. Danny Ainge was brought in to reshape the roster, and reshape it he did. Gobert, gone. Coach Quinn Snyder resigned. And finally, Donovan, the face of the franchise, traded to Cleveland. No goodbye tour, no final moment, just a Woj tweet and a clean break. It was over. 5 straight playoff appearances, 3 all-star selections, franchise records, historic playoff performances. None of it mattered anymore. Utah didn't want to tweak around him. They wanted to start over without him. And for the first time in his career, Donovan wasn't the future. He was a memory. When Donovan was traded to Cleveland, it didn't feel like a blockbuster. It felt like a reset, a franchise swapping eras, a great player on the move again, maybe another step toward irrelevance. But then the games started, and Donovan, he was different. 31 points in his Cavs debut, then 41, then 38, then 43, and then January 2nd, 2023, 71 points. The highest scoring game since Kobe, the most efficient 70-point performance in NBA history. overtime win, career-defining night. But more than that, he gave Cleveland an identity. A team that had been adrift since LeBron left suddenly had purpose, and Donovan wasn't just scoring. He was defending, leading, mentoring. He played through injuries, spoke with composure, anchored the locker room. The young core, Garland, Mobley, Allen, leaned on him. He wasn't the new guy anymore. He was the guy. They finished 51-31, Cleveland's best season in 5 years. The city felt alive again. And Donovan, he had found something Utah never gave him: a clean slate and a real chance to build something lasting. Because this time, he wasn't trying to live up to someone else's system. He was building his own. In 2024, the Cleveland Cavaliers believed it was their time. They had experience, they had chemistry, they had Donovan Mitchell. The roster was deeper, the defense was elite, and Donovan, he was locked in, averaging 29 points through the first round. But then, the injuries hit. Jarrett Allen missed time. Evan Mobley played through pain. Darius Garland was never 100%. And the Cavs, a team built on balance and depth, unraveled fast. They were bounced in 5 games. No miracle run, no breakthrough moment, and just like that, another season ended quietly. For Donovan, it was familiar. Too familiar. Another year of what if. Another year where the conversation wasn't about how good he was, but how far he didn't go. But he didn't fold. He came back with purpose. 2025 started differently. He slimmed down, started picking his spots, defended harder. He wasn't chasing numbers. The Cavs didn't just win, they grew up. Mobley took a leap. Garland stabilized. The bench stepped up. And Donovan, he anchored all of it. By the time the playoffs came, Cleveland looked nothing like the year before. They steamrolled the Heat in round 1. They don't look overwhelmed, they look ready. And for the first time since LeBron, Cleveland feels like a real threat. For 7 years, Donovan has been one of the NBA's most electric players. He's dropped 50 in the playoffs, he's won big games, he's made all-star teams, but he's never made it past the second round, not once. And fair or not, that's the line between great player and true franchise cornerstone. He's carried flawed teams. He's been efficient, durable, and relentless. But until you win in May, the narrative doesn't change. That's what this 2025 run is about. It's not just about Cleveland. It's about him. But now he has help. Mobley controls the paint. Garland can create. The defense is top 3 in the league. For the first time in his career, he doesn't need to do everything. He just needs to lead. And right now, he's doing it. This isn't the Donovan Mitchell who needed 40 to stay relevant. This is the one who understands timing, when to strike, when to sacrifice, when to take over, and when to trust. And if he gets through this round, the legacy talk changes. For good. Because Donovan isn't chasing validation anymore. He's chasing history. He never needed saving. He didn't ask for the hype. He didn't chase the spotlight. He didn't beg for anyone to believe in him. He just kept showing up. In Utah, he was everything they needed, until they decided he wasn't. In Cleveland, he's everything they hoped for, and more. He's not here to prove he's a star anymore. He's here to prove he's a leader. The game has changed. He's changed with it. And maybe this postseason ends like the others, with more questions. Or maybe this is the one where the noise finally stops, where the league sees what he's been this entire time. A player who never folded, never flinched, and never gave up. Not when they questioned his size, not when they blamed him for the losses, not when they traded him like a name on a spreadsheet. This isn't a comeback, it's a continuation. Donovan Mitchell was never broken. He was just waiting for the right place to finish what he started.